Good morning. It's June 3rd. It's a Friday. Another beautiful spring morning. And since it's a Friday, I'll be walking around the lake. Wascana Lake. Wearing a sweater. Probably could almost not have worn one. I'm sure by the time I've walked a while, short sleeve shirt would be fine, but this shirt is hard to attach the mic to, so. Using the wireless mic again. It seemed to work yesterday. I didn't actually check the sound, but somebody told me it was okay. Guess I should have checked it myself. I finished that huge editing job I've been working on yesterday. I still have to do a final cleanup and send it in. That's done, which means now I can turn my attention fully to all my various publishing and other writing tasks. So it feels a bit like a holiday having finished that job. Oh, I'd forgotten that does that. Sometimes there's a bit of a banging over here, just because of the way that the wireless receiver bangs on the gimbal sometimes. Hopefully I've stopped that for the moment, because it does pick up. You know, what's that clicking sound? So yeah, I got various miscellaneous things to do now, and still tons of stuff to edit. Publishing work to do. But first, this lovely walk. Not much wind, pleasant temperature. Not a lot of clouds in the sky, if any. I haven't seen one yet. See what we see when we get around the lake. Right now it looks like a cloudless sky. Birds singing. It's not summer yet, not officially. It doesn't happen for another couple of weeks. About 18 days to be precise. It should be a brisk walk as the sidewalks are clear. Let's see, I think last time I went counterclockwise, so this time I'll go clockwise. Ah, there is a clicking sound, isn't there? It's because of the way the mic is attached. Let me see if I can stop that. I was trying to figure out what I was hearing. It's clearly now I'm going to lose my little. Oh, I will just take it off. There's no wind anyway. Hopefully, that got rid of the clicking sound. I hope. I did lose my little windsock, so there might be more wind noise, but it's not very windy, so hopefully not. And that's impossible to do with one hand. I can barely get it on there with both hands. The most annoying thing about Fridays is there's so many people out walking. I always prefer to be alone. Right, here I am going to be catching her in a minute. I'll take the underpass here, under the bridge. Looks like it's been nicely cleaned up. Oh, she walks pretty fast. She might stay ahead of me, even though I have longer legs. We will go clockwise today. Some green. She might stay ahead of me, actually. She's very focused on walking fast and not talking as she does so, like I am. It's the aeration fountain going up here. No, nope, not going to catch her. You see the fountain going there?
7 or 8. And I'm thinking, okay, airport.
Yep, I'm going to be way too warm in this sweater. That's clear. A couple of ducks posing with the fountain. Very nice of them. A lot different than when I was walking around here at 40 below, isn't it? Some ducks there on the edge. Up here is the gazebo. And up there is where they're making the new swimming pool, which I took a closer look at on just yesterday. Maybe that was just yesterday. I guess it was just yesterday. I took a closer look at that. A goose, of course. There's always a goose. At least one, usually more. Nice view back at the bridge, the fountain. That's the apartment building over there, that taller one. It's very warm in the sun, cool in the shade. It is supposed to go to 22 today, so it's going to be beautiful. Perfect temperature day later on. I will be doing another walk, but I won't be live streaming it. I'll be walking downtown later. Might switch to shorts. I think we're just about there. I think we are there. Could have worn shorts this morning, it would have been fine. Still nicely in bloom. That platform there would be for rowing. See, there are buoys. So that's usually got something to do with boating. I'm the rowing club. Hey, I can take the shortcut here now that it's dry. apparently need to get over to Douglas Park. I might have a car for most of next week, so maybe I can go a little further afield, a day or two. Apparently they have a herd of goats over there, keeping down the weeds. Which is a new thing. My daughter's out of town, so she won't need the car. Probably I should take her to work the first day, so the car doesn't just sit there at the university unattended for 4 days. She's working for ICE Camp, Engineering Youth and Education, in Engineering and Science, and they're going down to Estevan for most of the week. They do school workshops, and also later on, when school's out, satellite camps in various communities. And they also have a camp at the university, which she went to as a kid, and now she's an instructor, which is kind of cool. As she heads into her 4th year of university, which is hard to believe. I'll take this shortcut too, because I can. And I haven't yet until now. More geese. And of course, as I always mention, right up here is the parking lot where very important scenes for Song of the Sword, the first book in my young adult series, Shards of Excalibur, take place up here. This is where Ariane, my main character, 15-year-old girl, discovers she's the Lady of the Lake, and the Lady of the Lake shows up right here, in that spot of water right there, between here and the island. Tells her that she's now the Lady of the Lake, and she and this boy, Wally Knight, who happens to be there as well, have to find the scattered shards of Arthur's sword Excalibur before Merlin can. And in my story, he's, in his modern day guise, he's a sort of a Bill Gates, Steve Jobs kind of computer guy. Let's go up on the lookout. I haven't done that for a while. You can rent Willow Island for picnicking. This is your Willow Island lookout. So there's Willow Island. You can see there's a landing over there, and there's shelters and stuff on it. We'll be going on down that way around the lake. We just came from that way. My house is straight ahead in that direction. And my shoelace is coming untied. That's annoying and really hard to do anything about with the gimbal. I think I'm going to have to see what I can do. So if things get a little weird, you'll know why. I'll put the gimbal between my legs. And tie up my shoe. Not sure what you saw there, but on we go. Lots of geese flying around. Last time I did this, which was not last week because I was in Toronto, baby geese are already out, so they should be quite a bit bigger by now if we see any. Or teenage geese, or at least middle schoolers. If you want to look at Willow Island, you can also sit in these benches and look at Willow Island. The geese swimming by there. You know, there's some geese, but no baby geese. Okay, over here is the HMCS Queen building, which is basically a landlocked ship, run like a ship. It's where the Navy cadets hang out. Lots of geese on their yard there. Oh, there's a squirrel too. So you can see it has kind of a ship's style mast there for flags. Over here, of course, the legislature is always the main landmark. A lot of grass. It always seems to just come straight out the other end, but I guess they get some nutrition from it. Nobody has said hello yet today. If you're watching, say hello if you want to. And speaking of goose poop, I just stepped in some. Oh well, it'll be long gone by the time we get back around the lake. Yeah, there's someone. Brian, hi. Wascana Center over there, of course. I normally walk down by the lake, but maybe just to be different, I'll take a turn over this way. And I'll go out the walkway and down. That's what I'll do. Let's give you a closer look at Wascana Center here. So this is where Wascana Center Authority has its offices. There's a lovely garden in the back called the Lady Slipper, something like that. I won't try to go back there, but sometime this summer I'm sure I'll be back there. So we'll go up to the front here. There's also, or at least there used to be a gallery in there and various other things. Wascana Place, I guess it's called. There it is. Then you turn around this way and you can walk out to this observation deck directly ahead to get a good look at the legislative building in the lake again. So we'll do that. Also, we'll get a look from up above at the aeration fountain in the pond here. Some lilacs here, I think, or is that a cherry tree? That's a cherry tree. There you go. There's the fountain. And then you get this scenic view out here. So again, the floating platforms are for rowing. There's downtown. You can see the buoys which mark the lanes. We'll go right by the Wascana Rowing Club here in a moment. Some bugs coming out too. Go from down here, which is nice with the bridge. If you get just the right spot, ought to get a nicely framed image. I'll just cut across the grass rather than walking all the way over there. Cut through the trees, scare the geese. They need a little excitement in their lives. Oh, there's some young geese over there. They're certainly bigger than when I came by 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's the time. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I can't read it clear enough. It's some sort of emoji. Does Regina have? I don't know. Probably we do, whatever it is. Looks like a flower. I suppose it could be a COVID symbol. And well, yeah, but we lifted all our restrictions quite some time ago. And even like the restaurant servers at the hotel, I know we're freed of masks finally on Monday, if that's the question. So numbers are low. Most people have moved on. I mean, what else is there to do? Everybody I know is vaccinated. Everybody I know who's had it is vaccinated. Everybody I know who got it pretty much were mask wearers, didn't do anything. So you just live your life. Cut through the playground here. Things very noisy up here. Oh, they're cleaning. There's a bit of a marina over here, and some boats. So the racing club shed is over there, and then I think their offices are in here. Could have done without the huge cloud of dust. And up here to my left is the Bar Willow, which is a restaurant. Down here is the boat launch. Something else there, I can't read it. Too bright. Cherry blossoms. Well, that's better than COVID. Yes, cherry blossoms. That's what I pointed out just back there by the fountain was cherry blossoms. Kind of at their peak right now, but they will soon be falling.
Take my jacket off. Oh, yeah. It's warm. It's nice.
Just got up with a lady who was ahead of me going under the bridge. She'd stopped to talk to somebody, and I took a more circuitous route. Somehow we came back together. She'll probably pass me if she's walking as fast as she started out. So we can see that the waterfall's going over there, so we'll have to go across and see if we can walk under it, or if they've got it blocked off. And Pine Island over there. That cyclist rang a bell, which I much appreciate. So I knew he was there before he ran into me, or I suddenly decided to point to my left and whacked him across the face, which could happen. No particular reason for me to point when I'm not on camera, but still, I could have turned suddenly to look at something and run into him. So the bell was appreciated. Over this bridge, lake. Over here is the Broad Street Bridge. Oh, there, for a minute I had enough darkness I could see that that is indeed a cherry blossom, not a COVID virus, but, you know, it's like a reasonable guess. See, he didn't ring a bell, so I could easily have hit him. I had no idea he was there until he was right beside me. Could have hit me, and that would have been worse because he's the one on the bicycle. Although if he fell off the bicycle, he might find it worse. All right, the next bit of excitement is Pine Island. We'll go and see if we can walk under the waterfall. Looking back across now at the marina, where we just were. Don't know I still haven't quite figured out the right thing to do with the receiver to keep it from clicking. I don't think it would go wide enough to attach it to the frame of the phone, which might help. That's what I'm trying to do here, if you're wondering. Yeah, it won't quite go wide enough there, so it won't stay there. Let's try that. Yeah, I think maybe that'll reduce any clicking sounds. Lots of people walk around the lake for their constitutional. If we go over on Pine Island here, we might see some more baby geese. The bridge is lined up so when you cross it, you're walking directly at the legislative building. Dead ahead. There aren't a lot of cherry trees in the park. There's some places where there's lots of them that have been planted, but not in the park. I suspect that's partly because it's more indigenous greenery in the park. Although maybe the pines are not really that common down this way, but I see pelicans over there, I think, at the end of the Spruce Island there, those little white dots. Like pelicans. There's 3 of them. Now, last time I came this way 2 weeks ago, they had the walkway under the waterfall blocked off, and they still do. Wonder why. Is it blocked off at both ends? Are they not letting people walk under there anymore? Doesn't seem any reason for that. Huh. Anyway, there's the waterfall. Well, if I can't go under it, I'll climb up here to the top of it. Sort of see there, it just disappears here, but there's the edge of it flowing into the lake. And again, this is an aeration feature to keep oxygen in the water. I'll go down this way since I went to all the work of climbing up here. That doesn't look like a very healthy tree. It's quite dead. Oh, this is not a cherry tree, but it's in full blossom. So I don't think it is. Not pink. Maybe it's a variety of it. Some of them have signs on them, but don't know if that one did or not. Back over the bridge. Now I'll be heading down that way. And of course, Pine Island is also where that building we walked by was a timing stand for rowing competitions. It was built when the Canada Summer Games were held here in 2005. Here, just to be different. This was a surveyor's memorial, but I think some of that information has gone, so I don't know why. Oh no, I guess it's still here. I wrote their history book. I did the Engineers, Association of Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Saskatchewan. And I also did the Land Surveyors Association. And I did the Saskatchewan Mining Association. And I did the Mining Association's Mine Safety Competition history book. So I've got a bit of that sort of thing. To come over and walk on that side again. I haven't been over there for a while. I think there was still snow on the ground last time I was over there. It's Wascana Rehab Center over there. There's a cherry tree. Hi, Kirk. Good morning in Vancouver. Another cherry tree coming up here. Again, the white one might be a cherry tree. I just think it's not because it's white, but perhaps it is. Some variety thereof. Here's a nice pink one. Two of them. Three of them. Three in a row. Caragana bushes even have flowers on them right now. When I was a kid, I thought these were honeysuckles because that's what we had in the south, but they're not. Although you can pull them off and get a tiny, tiny touch of sweetness. But they're not honeysuckles. Maybe I'll take the non-paved path down by the lake here too, since water seems to be, well, I don't know. Actually, it looks like they've been watering, so it's probably damp. Might be a little muddy. I won't do that. Down there it might be a little damp. Kind of looks like it is. It just goes down and goes closer to the lake. Just a path people have beaten, not one that it's, again, no bell. Not one that's formally created. More cherry blossoms. I don't think they were sent here during the Second World War when we were at war with Japan. Maybe afterwards for some reason. Some nice lilacs up here on the right. Big bush. Very purple. Take a look at Spruce Island since there's another overhang here. Spruce Island is undeveloped. You can't rent it or anything, it's just left for wildlife. Keep moving so I don't get caught up by somebody I've already passed and have to walk by them again. It's always annoying. Still haven't seen a cloud in the sky. You can see almost all the way to the horizon. Just to be different, I think maybe I'll go over to Albert Street instead of walking down by the ledge. Take a slightly different path. More lilacs. White ones and purple ones. We'll go this way. More lilacs and cherries, things. I think he was going a little fast for this piece of road. This is actually a power plant, or at least has been. For the legislative building, as far as I know. I don't know for sure if it's still active as a power plant or not. Just a backup, maybe. We'll go down Avenue C. If only there was an Avenue Q. We could look for singing puppets. Broadway reference there, if you don't get it. Trust me, it was hilarious. More tree. To say along here, it's just a road and a parking lot behind the Walter Scott building. Of course, the legislative building is coming up now on my right. We'll go walk down by the fountain here in a minute. There's a fountain at this end. Didn't go that way. The Trafalgar Fountain might be running now. Have to get it next time. It's down at the other end of the ledge. I hope some of the birdsong makes it into the mic. It should. At least when I'm not talking. I hope the mic is still working. If it quits, it just goes to the camera, the phone mic, which is okay, but not as good a quality. We're at the back of the ledge. And down here, there's a fountain, if it's running. I don't think it's running at the moment. It was last time I came by. Somebody there, maybe they're doing maintenance on it. Definitely not running. But there's water running, but the fountain itself is not running. They must be doing something with it, on it, or to it. Should be right in there. Looks like they're draining the pool in preparation for doing something else, probably. This will take us by the Provincial War Memorial on our left up here. Of course, here's the ledge. West End. This is the Provincial War Memorial. The cenotaph downtown is just for Regina. This is for the whole province. The sun's silhouetting the ledge right now. Okay, how do I want to proceed? I guess I'll go this way instead of going along Albert. Fewer roads to cross. This is a bit out of the crooked path, but straight is the way and narrow is the path that leads to leads to salvation, and those who find it are few. S-T-R-A-I-T. The straight and narrow is always turned into straight like a straight line, but of course that makes absolutely no sense. It's straight as in difficult, S-T-R-A-I-T. Now you know, here endeth the lesson. I doubt you'll ever see somebody, stick to the straight and narrow, who doesn't misspell it. But nevertheless, that is the truth. So there. All right, up here, that's the washrooms and another dog. A very crooked tree. Now either cross the bridge up there and walk down the far side, or I walk down here. I think I will go down to the lake so I can take the underpass instead of walking across the Albert Street Bridge, which is noisy. Besides, it's supposed to be around the lake, this walk. This will take us behind the dam here that creates the lake. Since there's nothing natural about this lake, or any of this landscape around us, it's all man-made. Or man-shaped anyway. I guess the land itself was here, but what's growing on it, and the places it's growing, and the buildings and everything else, is put here by humans, including the lake. There was a creek. A slow and winding creek. But no lake till this dam was built. Now we'll be seeing the pelicans down there that are usually hanging out right about there on those rocks, but I don't see one. Guess we're finding better fishing elsewhere today. Well, I pointed out some at the end of Spruce Island. So I know they're out there, but they're just not. They often hang out there, and I presume it's because fish sometimes get swept over the spillway, and they can snatch them up. Not too far to home now. Oh, there's people getting ready to launch kayaks. Don't fall in the water, children. It's not really that bad, but it is landlocked, largely, very little fresh water flowing into it, and surrounded by ponds and things from which you can get all sorts of runoff. So, not the cleanest body of water. Better than it was before they deepened it. And it was not usually this time of the year, but before long it would have been pretty much weed choked. And no oxygen in it, so no fish could survive. All things they fixed when they deepened it 2003, I believe. That's when the big dig was. Drained the whole thing, dug it out to a depth at the deepest of 9 meters. So there's a large chunk of it that doesn't freeze to the bottom, so fish can overwinter. And the aeration keeps the water oxygenated, and the fact that it's deeper reduces weed growth and algae growth. So it's a much nicer body of water than it was when I first moved up here in the late 80s and right through the 90s. Little cherry tree. Pine's putting out little cones there. It's thriving. That's a smelly tree. Those things are smelly. Whatever they are, they're smelly. Should find out. So I keep commenting on that without knowing what they are. More flowers here. Oh, I see tulips at the end of the boulevard there. Take a look. There's a bit of a garden here that's planted by people who live along here. Tulips are the first things that have appeared. A few other things have been planted. There'll be more later. There's some nice flowers going there too. And of course everybody has dandelions. Should be our national flower. Our provincial flower anyway. Like that house, it's pretty in blue. They have their own gazebo down here on this corner. We'll go up the Leopold Crescent here, just to be different. Some of these houses I've been in, some I have not. This one here, this big one, I've been in years ago. A classmate of Alice's lived there. I guess her family probably still does. I haven't been in this one, but I like the looks of it. And they've got this nice little landscape bit out front here. And of course, I always like this half-timbered faux medieval look. I think I've been in that one. Faux Tudor, I should say, probably, not medieval. And as I haven't mentioned for a while, but this house started a movie with Linda Carter years ago. Would have been in the early 90s, I think. They shot a movie there and used that as their location. And for a while, the neighborhood here looked American because they had American post office boxes and things like that to dress it up. Wonder Woman herself, the original one. Having come this way, there's a big one with lots of flowers on it. We will stop at the traditional stopping point at this stop sign. That will be it for today. I'll do at least one walk over the weekend. I don't know if I'll do two. I do like to take a day off sometimes on the weekend. 6 days shalt thou walk. On the 7th shalt thou rest from thy walking. I'm sure it's in the Bible more or less. Well, it kind of is. If you're observing the Sabbath day, that would be tomorrow. Okay. Whew. There you go. Thanks for walking with me. That's it for today. Bye for now.